We hear constant warnings about artificial intelligence replacing entire workforces overnight. But if you look at the economic data, the reality is more specific than a sudden wave of unemployment. To ground these numbers in reality, we start with the baseline for the entire U.S. labor market, 165 million jobs. When you apply current AI capabilities, 43% of those roles consist of highly automatable tasks. This group splits in two. 10 to 15% face direct substitution, but a much larger segment, 55%, will simply be reshaped. This aligns with data from the World Economic Forum, which projects nearly 170 million new roles emerging by 2030, suggesting the overall job count remains stable, even as the nature of the work shifts. Panicking over a jobless future is a dangerous distraction. While workers wait for a bot to arrive, their individual tasks are already being absorbed. Upskilling right now is the only way to maintain your utility as those specific workflows disappear. There is a massive difference between automating a task and automating a job. An algorithm can easily handle a spreadsheet, but it struggles to own the architectural judgment required to explain why that data matters. Staying relevant requires a specific exchange. You have to offload your routine administrative tasks to a system and use that saved time for the high-stakes cognitive and emotional work that machines cannot execute. This is what economists call high human density. It refers to roles that demand complex physical dexterity, open-ended problem-solving, and direct moral or legal accountability. Professional safety now comes from abandoning repeatable tasks to the systems that perform them faster, so you can specialize in the nuances that systems fail to grasp. To see where your career stands, we use a quadrant chart. The y-axis measures automation potential, how much time is spent on repeatable tasks. The x-axis measures demand expandability, if making the work cheaper leads to the market needing significantly more of it. Your position on this grid dictates your strategy for the next decade. Each quadrant presents a different risk level. By plotting your role here, you can move past the headlines and evaluate the actual level of friction your livelihood is about to face. The top left quadrant is the substituted zone. This is where you find roles with high automation potential but limited demand, like a call center representative handling routine account lookups. When AI handles these interactions, the cost of service drops, but people don't call 10 times as often just because it's cheaper. Because demand is fixed, the total number of jobs inevitably shrinks. Then there is the rebalanced zone. Here, tasks are highly automatable, but human presence is a requirement. You see this in the care economy, particularly with roles like care concierges. In this zone, AI removes the administrative drudgery. It can summarize medical files, verify insurance, and handle scheduling in seconds. That efficiency forces a change in the role. Caregivers have to take the time saved on paperwork and redirect it into the emotionally taxing work of coaching families through crises. This human connection is a public health necessity. U.S. Surgeon General Dr. Vivek Murthy has identified the loneliness epidemic as a major crisis, one that requires human presence rather than automated responses. Success in this quadrant means trading your administrative speed for advanced, nuanced emotional intelligence. In the top right, we find the amplified zone. Software engineering is the clearest example here. AI can generate basic code instantly. But as coding becomes cheaper, organizations don't stop building. They expand their roadmaps and build far more software. This is Jevons paradox. Named after economist William Stanley Jevons, it explains how efficiency gains increase total consumption of a resource. For engineers, the trade-off is a move away from heads-down typing towards system design and architectural problem-solving. Finally, the untouchable zone includes nurses and skilled trades, which carry AI resilience scores of 90% or higher. These roles are protected by physical chaos and legal accountability. AI stays on the screen, but it cannot navigate a cramped construction site or answer for a medical decision in a court of law. Staying safe in this zone means accepting the physical and emotional tolls that machines are incapable of carrying. You can audit your own path using this decision tree. Node 1. Does your job require physical presence in unpredictable spaces? If yes, you are in a safe trade or clinical role. If no, you move to Node 2, accountability. Does a client or regulator hold you accountable for the outcome? If yes, your role is secure. If no, look at demand expandability. If cheaper work unlocks demand, upskill. If demand is fixed, find a different market. This audit provides a specific result for your next move. It indicates exactly whether you should double down on your current path or begin a transition into a more resilient field. If your current work is middle skill, screen-based, and administrative, you are facing the highest risk of substitution. To maintain your value, you must pivot toward internal strategy, stakeholder management, or direct client relationships. Leaders can use these same tools to create maximum team leverage. Pairing human strengths with AI capabilities drives a 56% wage premium. For leaders, it offers a clear path to margin expansion. However, you will have to redesign your career ladders. The traditional grunt work used to train junior staff is disappearing, and you'll need new ways to develop future experts. Relying on AI for routine execution allows for a total shift in focus. Once the system finishes the calculations, the only work that remains is the specialization that only a human can provide.